Well, build my gallows and build them high. Makes a long time climbing before I die. I want the chance that's buried in his eye. Well, he gave me bars, but I can see between to a dusty yard and a long gone green. They call that freedom, if you know what I mean. And I drown my sorrows, but the whiskey's gone. I'm sober.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Quick Bang. I'm Matty. I'm joined tonight by a load of folk. Got Matt, Stephen, Tom, Ewan, Colin. How are you guys?
Fine.
Yeah, not bad, mate. Not bad.
Good. I'm impressed. I didn't need any help to remember any of the names there as well, which is decent. I normally struggle with names. Right, we've got Hibs against Rijeka. Is that the name? Get the pronunciation here. Rijeka.
It's only been an hour since full time.
Well, if you had Hibs TV on, Tam McManus, I think, was called it Rijeka, and several variations of it. I saw some complaints on Twitter about his pronunciation, so I thought I better check I've got it kind of in the ballpark. 1-1 draw. Quite a good performance though, Matt. What was your take on the game?
Yeah, it's one of these games you look back and think we had chances to win it, and it feels like we might kick ourselves in the foot next week when you look at the chances we had and might think, oh, we might have just came a wee bit too short. But it gives us confidence to go into next week and get a result, because they didn't perform as well as I thought they would do. And I think that's probably the same for a lot of people. So it will give us confidence going in next week.
So given the standard of shooting, if we try to kick ourselves in the foot, do you think we would hit?
Depends if Dre Wright plays. Probably not, though.
Probably not. Stephen, what about you? What was your takeaway for the game?
I actually feel I agree with Matt there. I think it's going to be a big task next week, because obviously we're playing on their patch. But I mean, for the most part of the night, I think we played them off the park.
Mm-hmm.
We showed that we're no long ball merchants, as their manager called us. You know, we got the ball down. We played really, really well. On another day, we're hammering them. You know, we had at least 4 or 5 really, really great chances. You know, the young laddie, Mackay, had a great chance right at the end. And on another day, he scores, you know, but it's one of these things, unfortunately. I think if we're more clinical next week, you know, we'll beat them. I don't think they were a great side. You know, they weren't as good as what I thought they were going to be. I expected them to be, you know, for the write-up they were getting. I expected a really, really hard game, but for the most part, we were comfortable tonight, you know.
Do you think that was because they weren't as good as you thought, or were Hibs better than we thought?
I think it's a wee bit of both, to be honest, because, you know, I think I was surprised with how well we played. I expected, you know, sort of for the first 10, 15 minutes just to be a wee bit kind of starstruck, if that sounds right. You know, I expected us to get a wee bit of a shockwave, because again, you know, I just expected them to be better than what I thought with the write-up they were getting. I thought they were going to be better than what they were, but no, I think massive credit has to go to Hibs and Jack Ross as well, to be honest, because we got we got the tactics right. The performance, as I say, was spot on. As I say, on another day we scored 4 or 5 goals, you know, but again, it just wasn't to be the night.
Tom, what about you? This is welcome to the show, by the way. This is you making your Quick Bang debut, so thanks for coming on. What did you think of the game?
Well, I quite enjoyed watching it. I think one of the things is, I think once we got the measure of them, they looked to me like a kind of team that could play in the Scottish League but would finish below us. I think we were better than them. And I think we could, if you looked at our away record, I think we could beat them there. I think maybe there's only a goal in this tie, but I think we'll win it. It's got that feeling, you know. I think we were very unlucky with our strikers. Nisbet, you could tell he was trying to come onto his game and just couldn't make it. And then as soon as he helped get the goal, and I think he had something quite close then as well. I thought, all right, good. I thought he was going to score, and then he got picked up an injury. And it was very unfortunate. I think we had bits of luck were against us, but we should have had maybe 3 goals at the very least. So I'm quite confident
Confident for the second leg.
Yeah.
Ewan, listen to the Down the Slope from for this week earlier on. Great episode. If anybody's watching and hasn't listened to it yet, would thoroughly recommend it. What did you think of the game tonight?
I don't know, man. I come away disappointed, happy. It's a bit bloody confusing, mate. I didn't buy that we were unlucky. We lacked composure when we needed it. Dan Mackay really should. He's a young lad. He's got to score. He had two situations like that against Santa Cloma in the first leg and on. His touch let him down. He took a much better touch tonight. Just didn't finish it. First half, the only one I would say we were unlucky with was Stevenson's shot, but we had 3 cutbacks towards the edge of the box and we hit straight down the keeper's neck twice, and I think on all 3 of them we could have taken a touch probably and got a better strike away. Like, I don't want to be negative because I think we played really, really well. We just couldn't finish, and it's really frustrating. I think what the guys were saying about Rijeka as well, like, I don't actually think they were any better than or any worse than what I thought. I would be more on what you were saying. I think start giving this team credit for what they can do on the ball, and we can zip it about well. Their manager made a rub for his own back, saying Hibs are a long ball team. I think maybe on Longbangers this week, was there a comment about one of the boys was watching on a stream with no commentary, and you can hear Jack Ross was absolutely hammering them wanting to play it on the deck all the time. And I think it's clear that we're trying to play that way and it's working. I think when we don't play that way, we go stale. So I think we just need to keep at it as much as we can. I was impressed, but by all accounts, last season I defended the defence as much as I could. But again tonight, another cross ball worries me. I don't think it's the centre half. So I thought Hanlon and Poitras were outstanding again. But it seems to be the communication with those around them. I think, was it Stevenson and Newell? I've not seen it back, but was it Stevenson and Newell the boy was free between sort of the night?
Stevenson and Hanlon, I think, but
I think
Stevenson
Stevenson
got underneath it. Aye. Well, Hanlon's in the middle.
Nobody
near him. Aye.
And then I think McGinn could probably done better on, was it the first cross as well? Again, I've not seen it go back, but I just feel like it's, and obviously at the weekend it was Gogic, so I'm not worried about the centre half pairing. I'm worried about the defending that's going on around them more than anything else. And 3 headers and 3 free headers in 2 games isn't great.
Yeah. Colin, what about you?
I thought we played some decent stuff. Doyle Hayes looks a fine day, but he was excellent. I think he got man of the match at the ground, but he was, first half especially, he was excellent. I thought we should have had a penalty when Boyle went down. Even Yogi on Hibs TV. That's another talking point. How's he back after Colin Boyle last year?
We've forgiven a mess, apparently.
Aye, but he was even saying it was a penalty, so that was I suppose he's paid to say it was. But aye, it was disappointing. One cross, 1 goal, really, for them. But just sort of missed opportunities. It's story of last season a wee bit. But I think, like your old man was saying, that I didn't fear going over there next week. Like their away record, they're no better than us. I'm not going to say they're a bad side. I think they're better than us based on that. And our away record's better than our home record, isn't it? So I didn't fear it.
What did we think of the ref's performance tonight? Anyone want to take that one?
On you go, mate. No, on you go, because I could be hit by body, mate.
No, I mean, I felt the referee, he was the same as the boy that we got in the last round. It was very, very stop-start. Really pernickety when it came to things like taking a free kicks, you know. He wasn't letting the game flow. It was a stonewall penalty. I will not hear anybody that say any differently. You know, Boyle has been very clever in the sense that he's just knocked the ball forward into space, and the guys cleaned them out. Any other day, I'm sorry, that is a penalty every day of the week. So the referee massively let himself down, in my opinion, for that. But for the most part, you know, it was just the game. Like, the game was really, really fast flowing tonight, but just at times, you know, it was just stop, start, and it was really frustrating because you could feel it feel like from where I was sitting in the stand. It was just like stop, start, and everybody around about us was getting frustrated, but rightly so. I think it was their right back, in my opinion, should have been sent off for a tackle on Boyle. He got booked straight away, which is fair enough, but on another day, I think that could be a red because he had no intention of playing the ball and he's absolutely clean Boyle out. So, I mean, to me, it was a poor performance all round for the referee. But again, that's just my opinion.
What were you going to pick up on it?
I just think incompetent, mate. Like, there was two situations in the space of about a minute that one went against us and one went for us, I want to say. There was a situation, it was in the first half. Hibs player got cleaned out about 20 yards out, and it sort of went for a goal kick, and then about 5 minutes later, the referee gave the free kick to Hibs, and I think he might even booked the boy. And then 10 seconds later, Hibs, we were on the attack, and their boys, I think McGuinness had the ball, and the boys went into slide tackle McGuinness, not won it, stayed on the ground. We've had a situation where Boyles went to play someone in, hit a shit pass, but then when he's got back onto the ball, it was that bad. And then the ref, again, there must have been it felt like ages, but probably about 30 seconds, the boy was on the deck, and then he just blew for a free kick. It was like, in my opinion, it was because he shat himself that because we were in there, and that player that was on the deck, should have been there, he's thought, they can't score here, and it will come back on me, so he's thought, I'll just take the safe option and blow a free kick. And I mean, I think it was a bit like the Santa Coloma ref that just didn't have any cards in his pocket, really. Like, it just people always say European football, you hear it down south, they say the ref blows for mayor in Europe and that, and I think you're starting to see that a wee bit. Just got to adjust it, I guess.
So it'd be a bit of a lesson to learn for the Hibs team. Tom, the starting lineup for Hibs then, so the big change from the weekend was Gogic going out and Doyle Hayes coming in. I know Colin mentioned Doyle Hayes. How did you feel his performance was?
I've got to say, I thought he looked very good in the first half, but in the second half he faded out for the game for me. And I expected either him or Newell, to be going forward more and driving into them. Especially Newell, I thought he was the biggest culprit for no taking advantage of going forward. And when they were rocking back a wee bit, we were going at them. But I think between those two players, we could have won it if they'd been a bit more aggressive at going forward. And he just didn't seem to do very much in the second half. I was surprised personally that he got man of the match. I was trying to figure out who I would have given it to, but I think it was based on his first half performance because I didn't see what he did in the second half. Whereas I think that was where the game could have been won.
Who would you have given it to them?
Well, actually, bar he didn't score. If he'd scored, I would have given it to Stevenson because I thought he played really well. He looked pretty knackered at the end. We all ken his age and his record and everything. If he'd scored with that goal, with that shot, that was so close. It was really unfortunate. I would have given him the man of the match.
For that.
And actually, I thought Hanlon as well. I mean, I think they both played well for me. So,
Hanlon looked like being in the wars as well. It's like one of these games where we've got players bandaged up. It was quite good at the end. There was a shot of their goalkeeper. So we had missed the first half. Like I said, was picking up Josh and picked up the game for the second half on. And just as they were seeing out injury time and they're doing a wee bit of time wasting, there was a shot with the goalkeeper bandaged up, and then Zorro standing next to him with a mask on. And Josh looked at me and says, "Fucking hell, what's been going on in this game? What have we missed?"
No, that's mad though. There's like, I watch rugby as well, and they're, I was going to say over the top. They're not over the top. They're really cautious about concussion. Football, they just go like, just carry on. There's a bit of bandage on you. Crack on. Now, the goalie was bleeding and everything. You know what I mean? It was like a proper cut, and he's got to get his heat checked there.
In rugby, they allow the injury substitutions, which I don't see why they can't do that in football. Take them off, get them checked out so the doctor's okay with them, and then he can come back on, for 10 minutes or whatever it takes.
Because Hanlon didn't even leave the pitch. Like, he just got up and ran back, and you think he's just been, he's just had a big smash.
He looked a bit dizzy, aye.
It was the famous quote for John Lambie, isn't it, when that happened back in the day? But was it Partick Thistle when the boy got knocked out and he says he doesn't ken who he is, and he says, "Tell him he's Pelly, give him a play on."
It's treated a bit more serious in other sports. I think football's a bit behind the football's still stuck in the 70s and 80s when Lambie said that, I think.
Aye. Good.
So head injuries. Look, talk about head injuries and that, and we're still laughing about that. You know what I mean? Talking about dementia and all of that, and we're like, just two of them just smashed teeds and just like, there's a bandage on you go.
All right, Captain Killjoy. All right. Right, looking ahead to the second leg then, we'll go through to Croatia. Matt, what's your What's your predictions for it?
Oh, predictions. It's Hibs, so honestly, who knows? But I think, as I said earlier, we can take confidence, so I don't see why we can't go out and win. So if we're going to put a score down, fuck it, 5-0 Hibs. But yeah, we've got the goal. We can just be glad that away goals are gone. We don't need to worry about that now. So yeah, just go out there, just play how we did tonight even, and we'll be fine. But just going back to the point on Stevenson, I thought he was excellent tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only thing that let him down was that cross 5 minutes from time, whatever it was. That was, for me, that was the only thing that took a man of the match performance off him, was that cross.
That's a fair point, because that was a cracking chance when the game was there to be won, and he just needs a bit of quality at that moment. Stephen, for you, second leg, how's it going to go?
I agree with Matt. I think that if we approach the game the same way that we did tonight, I think will be too much for this team. Again, it goes back to the point I made at the start there. I think it's just a case of being clinical. I think if we're more clinical in front of goal, we'll win the tie. I mean, to me, we're too good not to progress in this tournament. I'm sorry, and I'm saying it. I agree with Matt as well. It is Hibs. Of course, we're going to make it difficult for ourselves. It's the way that it is. It's why we love the club. We make things difficult for ourselves, but we still love them for it. But no, definitely, I'm confident, and I'll match that and say I think it'll be 2 or 3-0.
I admire the confidence. Tom, what about you?
Well, I kind of divided between both of those the guys, because I think we've got. Let me say first of all, I think that they could easily underestimate Nisbet, for instance, on his performance tonight, and he could easily score a couple of goals. I think if we score one, if we score first, for instance, over there, then I think there's a chance we could win like 3-0 or 3-1, whatever. I think we could score a few. I think it'd be more difficult if they happen to get a goal first, and then. But I still think we've got the potential to beat them. We're better than them, and I think. I think Jack Ross has this ability to change games. He gave him the second half. He changes things that very often are influential and we win. I think this is the first. If you imagine the first half, I would imagine tactically he'll know a bit more about them, and I think he'll have the beating of them. That's it.
He seemed in his after-match interview, he mentioned that they played the way that he thought they would play, the tactics that we set up worked the way that he thought they would work, and actually now that he's seen them up close, he's got a good idea that he was right in doing that. Ewan, how do you see it going?
I don't see any reason why we can't beat them, but I'm not convinced. The main reason for that is I've got a feeling that Jack Ross might be tempted to bring Gogic back in, and last season I was a big fan, but I don't think he's in the best of form just now. Mm-hmm. He stunk the place out a wee bit when he came on, to be honest. And fouls that he gives away, they seem to be leaky at the back, header-wise. And another worry for me, as much as, again, I agree with the guys, I thought Stevenson was outstanding tonight, but Jamie Murphy was leaving him out to dry all night. He was constantly 2-on-1, and I think Stevenson's 34, 35. He's going to play on Sunday. He's going to have to play again next Thursday. And I don't think whoever we put on the left side, whether it be Murphy, Dan McIver, is going to help him enough. But I don't see any reason why we can't win, but they two things concern me. I think it's got penalties written all over it, to be honest with you. I think it's two decent teams. They finished third in Croatia, I think. We finished third here. Two decent teams. I think it could go all the way, to be honest.
And final word to you then, Colin. How do you think it will go next week?
Nisbet got that injury at the end, the day he just sort of crumpled.
A dead leg, apparently. So nothing serious.
Just right. I don't know, 2-1 us next week.
2-1 Hibs, which I think is the de rigueur prediction these days, isn't it? After the Euros, 2-1 Hibs. Perfect. Listen, guys, thanks very much for coming on. It was a late night for everybody. I thought Hibs, for my part, I thought Hibs did really well tonight. I think we're shaping up to be a good team. I think it's been coming for a wee while. Pre-season's been good for us. I think we look in good shape for it. So I'm hoping we carry that form into the weekend and then into next Thursday, and we come through the tie and then beat Bohemians in the next round. That's the dream. Right, thanks very much for coming on. You and I look forward to down the slope after the weekend. Matt, I think if you're going to be involved in the Talk Hibs stuff, so if you're, I'll listen out for that as well. And Colin, I'll see you on Monday for Longbangers. Until then, folks, thanks very much for listening. We'll catch you next time.
County line, I pledged upon. Well, they trailed me down when I broke free. I drank all the whiskey in Tennessee. I don't drink water, no.